give it a warm welcome applause for Jessica Rotondi, everybody! Give it up for her. Sparkly mermaid of a woman. Thank you so much. How you guys doing? You guys doing well? Yeah. I smell the nacho cheese. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm Jessica Rotondi. This is my show. Thank you so much for coming. You guys, you might recognize me from my 20-year illustrious acting career. I was in Law and Order. Law and Order SVU, yes. And Law and Order Criminal Intent as a dead body. I don't know what it is about me that just screams New York City corpse, but I got the market nailed, you guys. I am in demand as a corpse. Yeah, thank you, sir. So I recently was on Long Island for the holidays, and your reaction is appropriate. Thank you. My mom thought she was doing this nice thing for me. She put all of my old headshots on one wall, the wall across from my bed. So as I sleep, it's just like me and me and me. It's not from the 80s, but a lot of 90s where black and white was still acceptable, the photography, and a lot of this was still acceptable. So not only do I get to see how much I've aged over the years, but how much fucking money I've wasted on headshots. Thank you, Mom. Hey, I love you. So when I was in Long Island, I got to go through a lot of my old toiletries because I'm a hoarder when it comes to toiletries. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yeah, I love the toiletries. And there's one product that's making me really angry. When I was looking at it, it made me really angry. Do you guys remember Nair? Ladies, remember Nair? Oh my God, yeah, you remember it, sir. Yeah, I know, guys, it's a little bit confusing. Nair was no hair. It was a really complicated marketing scheme, right? That's what it meant. Big in the 90s, big in the fucking 90s. So I was staring at this product, I was getting very enraged. It was the facial hair bleach. You guys remember the facial hair bleach? Okay, here's the thing. If you're an awkward 14-year-old girl with an olive complexion, a blonde mustache is not helping you out. Okay? Also, Nair, blonde hair is still fucking hair, okay? So fuck you. Stop ruining adolescent girls' lives. I lost so many dates because of my blonde, like bright blonde mustache. Bright blonde. It was like glimmering blonde, yes. Thank you, Nair. They're still popular. Fuck you, I hate you. Ladies, who's been catcalled here? A lot of New Yorkers, every day, all the time, right? Usually when we're wearing sweatpants, too. I don't know why they like sweatpants. So I had an interesting one recently. This man who was up there in age and also weight was walking with a cane, either because of his age or his weight, and as we passed, the words, "nice tits," like slipped out of his mouth, but he was shocked he said it. We both locked eyes and he panicked. And still my inner New Yorker came out, you know, because I'm a New Yorker and I'm Sicilian. And I'm like, hey, you're old enough to be my dad. And you're fat. That was the best I could come up with. I was very upset at the time. And he very sadly said, "But I'm trying to lose weight." Only I would get the sensitive catcaller of New York, you know? So naturally, he's my boyfriend now. I mean, it's so hard to find a sensitive guy in New York, you know? And he's trying to lose weight. Cut him some slack, you guys. We're on Weight Watchers together, you know? Now is where I get to the portion of sexual stuff. I recently had a blood test, and my doctor, you know, was very thorough, and my doctor assistant Lydia called me afterwards. She's a real peach. She's like, "Is this Jessica Rotondi?" I'm like, "Yes." She's like, "Your blood test shows that you might have a fatal disease, but we don't tell you what is in the phone. See you on Friday." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, they didn't even give me an option for the appointment. I just had to go in on Friday. They don't tell you what is on the phone. So I go in, and my doctor's not much better. He's looking at the chart, not even looking at me. He's like, "Oh yeah, Jessica Rotondi, we think you have syphilis." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I know how to feel because I've never had syphilis. I know a lot of you guys in this crowd have, but I never have, you know? So I had to think about it. He's like, listen, we're gonna give you a second test to make sure, but we're pretty sure you have syphilis. I'm like, okay. So I had to do a second test, I had to wait a few days. And after thinking about it for a day or two, I kind of felt sexy. You know, like who's getting syphilis these days but like a real pro, you know? Porn stars, sexy ladies. But then I found out the second test was negative, and all I felt was like I had a bad doctor, you know? But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try for chlamydia for a little ego boost, you know? Because I heard that that's really easy to get these days. So if anybody wants to meet me at Off the Wagon after this show, I'll be there. Off the Wagon's a classy place, right? Yes, yes. So I've had a lot of interesting jobs. Anybody else? A lot of New Yorkers always have interesting jobs. Anyone else have like weird jobs from their past? One of my most interesting ones was that I was J-Lo's butt double. I know that that sounds really exciting, and I am Sicilian, so I have a decent butt, I swear. You might see it when I leave, but this wasn't quite as sexy as it sounds. I was sort of like the mascot version of J-Lo's butt. Let me explain. So this was at the height where like J-Lo's butt was the talk of the town. Like everybody's just like, J-Lo's butt, J-Lo's butt. Remember, everybody just talked about her butt all the time. So A&E was doing this thing called Person of the Year, and they had 10 celebrities that they made like who might be the people of the year, and they chose people that looked like these people body-wise, and we had to wear these huge helmets with a question mark on it. It was very sexy. And then we had to go to Times Square and do this big show, right? So when I went to audition for J-Lo's butt, like all the A&E executives were just like looking at my butt. They were taking pictures of my butt. I'm like, is my butt gonna pass? I don't know. I started getting like really self-conscious of my butt. I'm like, I know I have a nice Sicilian butt, but is it J-Lo level butt? I don't know. So then they were like, no, you're good. You're gonna be J-Lo's butt. I was like, wow, okay. But I was still self-conscious about the big Times Square show, right? So they put me in a J-Lo jumpsuit. Do you guys remember when J-Lo made clothes? I think she still does, but it was like a denim black with a big belt, zipper all the way up. Of course, it was J-Lo, right? So I'm like, I'm in Times Square with my big helmet, pretending to be J-Lo and her butt, and I'm like, is my butt gonna pass? Is my butt gonna pass? That's all I could think about, right? So I'm walking, yeah, sir, I know. I feel that was how I felt. Oh, God. So I'm walking around with a J-Lo jumpsuit, and I'm like, do they believe it's J-Lo? With the big question mark, because I can't see my head. And I go out and a big applause, and I was like, oh, I think they believe it. And I hear two girls in the background go, that's not J-Lo! I'm like, fuck, they don't believe my butt. And they're like, that, she would wear those fucking sneakers. It's like, oh, the fucking sneakers, but they believe my butt. Yeah, awesome. So guys, my butt is believable as J-Lo's butt. That's amazing. I should be a butt double forever. Thank you, you're incredible. I will leave you guys with this for a little more sexy stuff. In terms of the weird jobs, I used to dabble as a dominatrix in New York. Yes, thank you. I appreciate the laughter. People always ask how that happened. How did you become a dominatrix? And basically, I've always been open-minded, and I've always been broke. You know, the perfect marriage of the two. Just add Craigslist to that equation, and the world is your oyster. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what it'd be like when I went pro, because I was used to doing S&M with guys in my bedroom late at night that I picked up from bars, you know. And when I went pro, I quickly learned when you're a dominatrix, you basically torture men in ways that gets them off. They're not allowed to touch you unless you give them permission to, like, suck your toes or give you a back massage or buy you a bagel, you know. Yeah, a lot of bagels are eaten there. And then at the end, you get paid, you guys. I wasn't degraded, I was the fucking degrader. And it felt awesome. And I will also be doing spankings and Off the Wagon after the show. So if you want to come by, $10, that's all I charge. You guys are so great. Are you ready for your